All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first orchestra concert of the year. And in front of you is the Sycamore High School Concert Orchestra. And for those who are new to the district, my name is Ken Tanaki, and I'm the high school orchestra teacher here. That first piece, Teddy Bear Picnic, is deceivingly with the cute little song. Reading about it, it was, I'm trying to think where 1907. So it's actually a pretty old song. It's over 100 years old. And even though it has the title Teddy Bear Picnic, the reason why I picked this piece, for those of you who have a little more in-depth background on music, what it has is we played in what we call a 6/8 meter or a compound meter. So it taught a different, what we call like feel of music that they're not used to necessarily seeing. They play in that meter more than they realize, but the notation. So a lot of the background behind that piece and the educational value of that piece are things that you may not necessarily hear as an audience, but for them, there's a lot of challenge with rhythm and counting. A lot of the sections, normally it could be played in what we call a low, a first position, stuff like that, and they were being made to play it in a higher position, to learn how to play in higher positions and give it a different tonal quality to it. So all these subtle things, again, that are behind the scenes make this piece a lot more difficult than what you're hearing as maybe a cute little, almost trite little melody, but very complex beneath the surface. The next song, She Beg and She More, changes pace, where it's a very slow and more melodic, expressive sort of piece. We have several soloists in this piece, and all the different sections can have the melody and they pass it around. So that, again, some of the subtle things we work on, what we call vibrato, which is that shaking, and I won't try to emulate that when you hear the opera singer and their voices going back and forth. I will not sing into the mic, I promise you. So, but you see the technique of vibrato, which is one of the hardest things that a string player can learn to master. So this gives them a chance to, with these long notes, to really work on their expressive vibrato, as we call it. So, and other subtle technique things. So, without further ado, She Beg and She More. final, our final piece, Turning Point, is just a good way to end the first half of the concert. It's just a hard driving piece with very articulate rhythms, and again, passing around the melody, and just really drives the whole time. So it's by passing around all these different melodic small sections, like motives, we call them motives, they have to just focus and concentrate the whole time. The piece just doesn't let up. It just goes and goes and goes. So they have to sustain their concentration for 5 minutes straight throughout the piece, and working on their velocity and ability to play fast and quickly. So our final piece with the concert orchestra, Turning Point.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa Smith, and I'm the Sycamore Music Boosters president this year. And some of you might have gotten a letter from me through snail mail. Hopefully, we had to have the kids address those, so I know there were some I had to toss. Hopefully, you all got that. And also, Mr. Tanaki was supposed to forward a different letter this week about our craft fair. And I just want to let you know some facts about the Sycamore Music Boosters. First of all, we have the highest budget. The Mattress People fundraiser have told us this. They've worked with schools in Naperville, Wheaton, wealthier districts. We have the highest budget they have ever seen. Now, the reason for this is primarily the craft fair, the Pumpkin Fest craft fair, which we make about $40,000 off. And then we do a second big fundraiser in February called Note to Remember that we make about $20,000. Now, what this money is used for is we give our music department an allotment every year, anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000. That money is used to buy things like the band trailer, the choral risers, the grand piano that's back there somewhere, and just a lot of different things like that. And the beauty of it is, a couple years ago, I think it was either last year or the year before, you guys went to Chicago for some kind of event. When was that, Ken, that you went to?
2 years ago.
Oh, it was 2 years ago. Okay. Just for an example with the orchestra, Mr. Tanaki took some of the kids into Chicago for an event, and he wanted to do dinner afterwards, and the tab was like $1,000, $1,100, something like that. Music Boosters was able to write him a check for that and treat all the kids to dinner that night. And we are able, because of our fundraising efforts, to pretty much not blink an eye and just dash off a check when our teachers ask us for special projects. However, this craft fair, we are really short of volunteers. We really were wondering if orchestra and choir students and parents could help us out on Sundays. Even if you're going to the parade, we have plenty to do afterwards. Some people have sent in donations, sent in pies. Thank you for that. We made about $900 off of pies last year, so that's really important too. But the volunteers are the important thing. So if you can find a couple hours, grandparents are welcome, anybody. The craft fair sign up is on the Sycamore Music Boosters website if you haven't gotten the letter from Mr. Tanaki yet. It is sycamoremusicboosters.org, and just click on the craft fair tag and you'll find the volunteer sign up. So please consider helping us out. Again, it's supporting our music program and our great teachers, and we have a great program. That last group sounded great, so thank you for letting me take this.
Sorry. I'll do my talking now for an upcoming reason, which will be obvious soon. Thank you to Mrs. Smith for coming and talking to you. Yeah, I've been here teaching in the district for 23 years now, and I can honestly say, I don't want to say that the district, the music program wouldn't have survived without the music boosters, but the quality of equipment that you see, we are constantly being asked by other school districts, where did you get, even though I know your children hate these things, where did you get these dresses? Where did you get these tuxedos? Where did you get these chairs, these music stands and stuff like that? The cellos and basses at the school, our cellists and basses, and for the band, like the tubas and trombones, like they don't have to carry those large items back and forth from school. And it's really, most of it comes from the Sycamore Music Boosters. So I beg you, for really the sake of our survival and success, we need your help. So please consider that. The good news is I did send that letter out. The bad news is that as of tonight, I think I discovered that I'm always sending these emails out, and I'm only sending it to one of the orchestras because there's a couple other boxes I am not clicking that are hidden behind tabs. So I will send that out if you did not get it. So I've been sending all this stuff, and just tonight I realized, like, oh, I think I've been sending like only 1/4 of the orchestra, the information that I've been trying to get out. So I will try to send this out. One thing I did send out, I did make through my discovery, is tonight, just before the concert, I sent out an email to all of you, and it pertains mainly to those of you whose children are auditioning for IMEA, but feel free, all the rest of you, if you're not doing anything on Saturday, we could use your help for about an hour and a half to 2 hours maximum. The IMEA auditions are this weekend at Huntley Middle School in DeKalb, not Huntley, but Huntley Middle School in DeKalb. And we've done a new thing for the last couple of years where we have our blind audition. So the judge, in the past, the judge was able to see and interact with the students, but now the students are either playing behind the screen or the judge has their back turned to the students. So there can be no question of the judge's results. What that has happened is created a bit of a mess in terms of we need volunteers to stand at the door and to bring the student in, read any communication, and show them what parts to play. The judge is not allowed to speak to the student at all, to have any interaction. We are humongously short this weekend on volunteers to man the door. So I sent an email out that has a link that you can click on. If you would be willing to spend some of your time to sign up as a volunteer for this event, the entire upper left corner of the state of Illinois would be very grateful. DeKalb has been wonderful hosting this event every single year, and they put themselves out there. And even though I know on the football field we're competitors, but in the music world, we're best of friends. You know, we have the youth orchestra at NIU, and it's half DeKalb students, half Sycamore students, and the teachers, we're best of friends. And so from a musical, artistic standpoint, we are huge supporters of each other. So it would be great for the Sycamore family to come together and come to the rescue to help out our musical brethren down the road. So check your email. If you have questions, of course, feel free to ask, and I'll answer it best I can. But if you can volunteer, the one thing I do ask is, and you can probably understand this, don't volunteer. So if your child is a violinist, please don't volunteer for the violin room, even though I know you'd want to see them and give them words of encouragement. You can see where that can cause a conflict of interest. So if you're an orchestra parent, if you can sign up for band or choir, or if your child is a violinist, like sign up for the cello room or something like that. That's the only thing that I ask that you do. And again, you can understand we had a big controversy several years ago, not in our district, one of the Chicagoland districts. So that's what started all this. So we don't want to cause another hubbubaloo about that. So please consider volunteering and helping, okay? I'm just going to do a few more scene changes, but about our last piece, you notice there's only one piece that they're playing. It's a longer piece, but it's by Mozart, and I've decided the quality of this ensemble is so outstanding. We are going to try to play it as authentic as possible. So the music version that I purchased was an exact copy of Mozart's own handwriting, all the things that are in his original works. Sometimes you have additions, other versions of this song that have been edited by modern people. We're reading the exact same notes as Mozart wrote it in his score. We're not cut off. Is my time up? So I understand. And so all the articulations, the bowings and stuff like that are similar to Mozart's style. They're going to play it in his style. It's great, stuff. So, and then thank you. And we're going to play it the way Mozart himself or orchestras of that time will play it. So you'll see what I mean in just a few minutes. Go ahead and warm up for about 30 more seconds. One more announcement. our yearbook photo after the concert, so please don't take your children home unless you don't want them to be in the yearbook.